Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 21 of Ask Karl G, Confidence Riding Horses. How are we? I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping for the people watching on replay whilst the live audience populates. If anybody is going to join me, doesn't really matter. I hope that those that are watching on replay get as much out of it. However, if you would like to join, the invite is already copied to my clipboard. There we go. Let's just bob that in the comments. Join in. Join in! Exclamation mark. So if you've got any questions, if you'd like some detailed personalization or context, then click that link that I've just put in the comments, whichever side it is, and you can join in there. Say hello. There's the invite. We had a great episode last episode. Very pleased with that. And I'm going to start off by promoting the Luminoso calendar. I'm talking about each of the photos because it's also relevant to this Ask Karl G. So we're going on to the photo for January. Can you see that? Yes. Ah, surprisingly good. Now, if I just do this clever thing here, I hope it's clever anyway. I'm going to share screen. There we go. Share that. And hopefully, you can see that entire screen. That's what I'm hoping. Just got that picture on it. So that, maybe you can't upload that. Upload that, never mind, you'll have to see it manually. So this picture here is Liverpool International Horse Show. The same show that we had the fireworks on the back. This is Lumi doing the complete start of it. That's a special fuel that'll lay on the ground and burn for about 3 minutes. And this was the very start of the show. First thing we did, me and Crystal went out and laid down those fire things, and Lumi came along and did his thing. So this is the thing. That was the most spectacular gig that I've ever done. Oh, you can't even see on this picture, but look, that's the first gallery, and there was 3 galleries. It was like that scene out of Gladiator when they first walk into the arena, and it is so big. The place was so populated by people waving them up. The band had been on before, so the band was the Rick Parfitt Jr. band, and they were rocking. They really were, and they got everybody to wave their phones. And I was just standing in this little tunnel working it. Oh, it's all back front. This little tunnel here, this is where he came out, and bless him, he was just stood in that tunnel, we were in there for quite a long time, just waiting to go. And I looked at him, I looked at the band, which were all doing the big I just thought, you're such a good horse. He was there, all the lights were going, he knew what was coming up. Katrina was on his back, we were arming up the fireworks, making sure there was an escape lane in case they went off, because you got to switch them on and then you plunge it, but I suppose there's always a chance that they're going to go off, so we made sure there was an escape lane, so the band might have been interrupted by a horse going flying into the arena anyway if those fireworks had gone off. But the way in which the horses, and I've thought this for years, the way in which the horses can cope with so much, and cope not in a frightened way, cope in a coping way. Because the way that Lumi was just standing there on his own, just gently piaffing from side to side, waiting, and we were there for a good 10 minutes, was utterly fantastic. So if you haven't bought your calendar yet, that's January. If your birthday's in January, that's your I can't get this lefty righty thing. That's your birth month. That's what we've got. Guys, you're going to buy a calendar anyway. If you buy presents for Christmas, which we all do, you're going to buy a calendar anyway. Why not help Lumi out? Go to the Luminoso collection. Better write that in, better than I. That's the luminosocollection.myshopify.com. each word separated by a hyphen. www.the-luminoso-collection.my.com. Buy presents anyway, buy calendars anyway, and you do, why not help Lumi out? Bless his little socks. So yeah, if your birthday's in January, that's your day. Okay, so I've done enough housekeeping. The little link to join the conversation is up on the comments. So if you've got any conversation that you'd like to chat about, in the meantime, I'm going to bob over to Facebook. I don't think you can see me doing this. I'm going to bob over to referendum, which is down here somewhere. Have a quick look there. And down to the referendum page, and thank you everybody who's joined in the referendum. It's been absolutely fabulous. And we'll look up the next question. So the next question, looking for that photo of old Boris Johnson. There he is. Okay, let's have a look at the next questions. So another question on napping. If you haven't noticed, I've just sent out an email referring back to, we were talking about napping the day before yesterday. So make sure that if your question's napping, if that's your main thing, just have a look at that video. If it hasn't answered it, or you want more personalization or more context, then join the live, drop yourself into the conversation by clicking the link, and we'll chat a bit more. This is a nice question. This is a question I'm passionate about, actually. This is my future, so let's get talking about this. Let me just find, where's my StreamYard button gone? I'll be back in a minute, guys. I can't find you on all my tabs. There we are. Hello. So this is the question. Let me put it in the comments. Control V. Right, and I'm going to need your help with these ones. She's getting older, slightly intermittently lame, and I'm not ready to give up my dreams with her. I love this question. This is going to be my future, because I've got, how many horses have I got now? Something teen, about 15 horses. And they're all getting older. We've got a couple of younger ones coming in. The main group of show horses are all in their teens. So we've got 10 years left. Those 10 years are going to go. Look how fast the last 10 years went. So we're not alone. I know we're not alone. There has to be a whole community of people with retired horses, intermittently lame as well. We've got Toddo. He's gone ahead of the rest. He was intermittently lame. Now his arthritis has got worse, and we do still work him. Well, I say work. We don't. We occupy his brain. But similarly, there are so many things that you can do that doesn't involve riding horses that I would recommend doing anyway. But certainly when the horses are retired, that is no reason to suppose that because you can't ride them, that it's time to put them in a field and just leave them to never be seen again. They're clever. If you get them into the habit of learning all their lives, if you're constantly actually now I've said that applies to me as well, and to a lot of people who come on the rider confidence course. When was the last time you learned something, especially something to do with risk assessment? It was probably when you did your job, when you started whatever your career is. There was probably a risk assessment at that point. And then you come along to the rider confidence course or watch these videos or come along to my talk and I'm chucking a load of information at you, and it's only found that there's a lot of learning to be done. If we're in the habit of learning, what I'm trying to say is, if you went and did your chainsaw course and went and did your power gardening tools course and went and did an abseiling course and went and did a sailing course and went and did a things that require risk perception, risk management, and risk assessment, then risk management. If you are in the habit of doing that, you would find it much easier to cope with your horses. Probably the last time you did that sort of risk management was when you learned to drive a car, or like I say, start your job. But if we keep ourselves up with the things that we learn, whenever I see any opportunity to ride a horse somewhere new, do something new, try something new, I do it. We were long reining Castiza and Jupiter together, and starting off with the reins that split. I had to learn that. They had to learn that. It was all a bit of a mess. We made up a little obstacle course around our paddock, and it was good fun. And if you learn something else and you learn something else and you learn, it doesn't matter if you're never going to do that. But by the time that the horse is retiring, it's so used to learning new things that if you want to learn a whole routine from the ground, and I've seen some spectacular routines from the ground. When we were in Dubai, there was a chap called Ali Mary, and he had this lovely little Arab horse that used to come into the tent on its own, do a little liberty act, stand on a block, which is a super trick. You get a square of plywood, and wherever you throw the plywood, the horse goes and puts its front feet on it and doesn't move until you say to move. And it's great because you can put that in front of the dignitary's table, and then the horse is there, and from there you can get the horse to bow and such like. And he got the horse to bow, and then he got a falcon to come and land on the horse's upturned bum, and it was really good. All that sort of thing is possible. Obviously, if the arthritis is attacking your horse's front legs, I'm not suggesting that you get it to bow, but there's no end of things. There was an act when I went to see Spirit of the Horse, and this was the second best thing about Spirit of the Horse. The first best thing about Spirit of the Horse was the title. Wow, what a good title Spirit of the Horse was. Absolute genius, whoever came up with that. It absolutely encapsulated it so much. I couldn't wait to go and see Spirit of the Horse. I wanted to be filled with the spirit of the horse and come away feeling even more inspired. When I got there, it was just a horse circus. And I think if it had been called the Horse Circus, I probably wouldn't have gone. Marketing genius. Anyway, the second best thing was an act called Rosie and Scout that I know I've put on my page before. I'll use this as an excuse to put it on again. And Scout was this little colour cob that, what did it do? It got into bed, she covered it, it pulled the covers off, she covered it, pulls the covers off, she put, and it just messed around like that. And then she couldn't get it to get up, and she had to wind up its tail, pulling it to try and get it up. But that act took years and years. And the bond that she had with that horse, you could just see it through and through. And then later on, she came and did an act where she was stood on its back, fire juggling and all sorts of things. But the possibilities beyond riding are amazing. I do remember at the start of this social distance social club, the lockdown that I did, people weren't being able to ride their horses, or they didn't. That was it. They didn't want to overwhelm the NHS by falling off their horses. So we made up a list of things you could do without getting on your horse, and the list was enormous. I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it underneath this video. If you work your way through that list with your retired horse, a decade will have gone by. There's loads of things to do. And I do think that my future and the programs that I'll go on to develop in about 7 or 8 years' time will be all about retired horses, hopefully about retired me, if all goes well. And the possibilities that you can do to carry on having a rich and wonderful life with your horses. There is nothing to say you have to ride them. Nothing to say at all. You have plenty of animal friends, pets, charges, farmyard animals. You don't sit, look, all these chickens. I don't ride anyway. Oh, we have a great old time. So there we go. There we go. This is the future. The answer to that question is change your dreams. Yeah, you might have to change your dreams, but you certainly don't have to give up on your dreams. I'm going to find that right now, that list of things that you can do without riding your horses. If you're watching this, just whatever's occurred to you as I've been speaking, without a doubt, a little voice will have popped in your head, or a little picture of something you've seen, or something that you've done without retiring your horses. So I'm going to put this over to the community. You've all seen much more than I have. So whatever popped into your head, stick it in the comments, help someone out, help yourselves out. You might even be looking back at this in 8 years' time, 10 years' time, 15 years' time, and be really glad that all these comments are there. So stick them in the comments. Thanks to everybody who's watching on replay. I'm just going to say hello to everybody. Oh, Jan Spruce Bowen, we spoke about napping horses last time. So bob into episode 20 and I'll speak a bit about napping horses then. If it doesn't cover it, or you can't think of how that applies to you, bob on to the next one and ask in context if the context doesn't apply to you. But I bet it will in some way if you sit and think about that. Lovely. Hello, Hells. Hello, Diane. Okay, so Diane's got something to say about this, which I'm quite pleased to see. It also keeps our brain active and opens up new pathways and hopefully stops us getting dementia in old age. Plus, challenge is fun. That's learning stuff, getting into the habit of learning. I'm thoroughly enjoying learning Russian at the moment. So, and playing the cello really badly. Linkin Park is my latest. There we are. Lovely. So, in the comments, especially you people watching on replay, don't think that I haven't got my beady eye on you just because I haven't got my beady eye on you. Anything that you can do with disabled horses, horses on the ground, disabled yourself, perhaps you've got older, perhaps your horse has got older, perhaps just circumstance means that you can't or shouldn't ride your horse anymore. There's a million things. I'm going to go and find that right now, and I'm going to put that as my suggestion in the comments. I'd like you to as well. Just as a final notice, the mounted division, the ultimate rider confidence course, 3-month course online covering every aspect of your mental attitude to horses, getting you on your horse, getting you going, stopping all the what ifs, is going to be taking its next intake on October the 21st, which is when the clocks change. So if you'd like to get enrolled in that, watch out for the post that will be coming up probably sometime today, definitely tomorrow, and I'll keep reminding that. So that's very exciting. Don't forget, get your Lumi calendars, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.